Welcome to this lesson on the background image. The background image CSS property sets a background image for an HTML element. You can use more than one image in the background of the same element. The background of an element is the total size of the element, including the padding and the border. So on the screen at the moment, I'm in my HTML code and I've got the basic startup code, and the only thing I've done is I've created this div element and I gave it a class name of box1. So that is our element, which we're going to relate to it as the box1 class, and that's the only thing we've got inside our additional startup code. In the browser, obviously nothing is happening at the moment apart from the title of the tab matches the title we've given in our head section of our HTML document. I'll just quickly bring up my files. I've also got this owl image and I've got this picture of a river. So let's go into CSS where there's no code at the moment, and let's simply refer to that div element using the box1 class name. So the full stop to say we're using a class, and then the name of the class is box1, and the open and close included brackets, which I'll just spread them out. And because we're going to place an image in the background of that element, we simply use the background image CSS property. One of the values you can give it is you can use the URL, and then you need to give the file name. Because it's in my current directory, which is the same as my HTML and CSS files, I just need to put owl.png. In my editor, if this link was working, it will then show the image on the left hand side here, so I know that is working. Okay, so if I save all and I go over to my browser, which is active, nothing is appearing, and that is because our div hasn't been sized. So inside my box1 class CSS properties, I'm going to give it a height, and I'm just going to put in 800 pixels a minute to declare the height. I'll save that. So in the browser you can see that we've got an image of our owl, but then it's been repeated across and repeated downwards. And if I just maximise that, you can see that it's repeating that image across the screen and then starts a new row. So it fills up the entire element of the same, repeating this same image. And that is what we'd expect. That is a default setting. So we'll come on to that in a minute. I just want to load in the other image. So if we do the river one, JPG, and I'll just save that. Now obviously you can only see part of that image because this image is a lot bigger than the owl one. If I maximise it, then you can see the whole image, but then to the right here you can see, oh, what's going on here? Well, actually it is repeating this image again as it did with the owl, but it's not as visible as the owl because this over the left is where is this of a new image. So even though you can't see it, it is repeating this image still to the right, and it is below. If we made this screen a lot bigger, you'd see it was repeating downwards as well. Okay, so if I shrink that back down, I just wanted to let you know that it's not just putting one copy of the image in the element, it is copying more than one. Okay, so I'm going to just revert back our image. I'll spell it right. There we go. So we're back where we're using the owl image, and because it's a lot smaller, we can see it repeating more on the screen. So as I said before, you can do more than one image. We've got our hill for the river, and before that one I want to put our hill for the owl. And we actually need to not use a semicolon, we need a comma. So using the CSS property background image, we're giving it two images using the URL for each one. So we've got the URL that's loading in the owl.png into element, and then separated by a comma. We then got the URL for the river.png image. So if I save that, so in the browser you can see that it's put the background image in the background, but just down here on the right hand side you can see it's still repeating the background. But what it's done, it's put on top the next image you put in, which is obviously this owl image, and then repeating that in all directions. And that is all default by CSS. So we can change this as we go forward. But for now, just wanted to let you know that you can put images on top of images, and this is how you do it. So it can be interesting for depth in your background images. So that can be quite useful, rather than it doesn't have to relocate the positioning. It does it for you. So just wanted to make you aware that you can have more than one image and it puts them on top. But just to remind you that if you put these the other way around, so if I load in the river first, then you've obviously, I saved that, and then you've got the picture of your river, but there's no owl, but the owls are actually behind this image. So they're there, but you can't see them because you put the big image on top of the small image. So they are there, but you can't see them. That's it for this lesson. We shall move on in the next lesson to look at how we stop this repeating image where we only need to have one image in our element. So I'll see you in the next video. Please hit that subscribe button, like and share to help support this channel.